Folks, in today's episode, we're gonna be doing a dining room table. This is juniper wood, so it's gonna come out red, but we're gonna tie it in with some black epoxy pigment, and you just wait and see how bad this is gonna be, folks. So we measured it out using Upstart Epoxy's epoxy calculator found on the website. We measured it out and it looks like we're gonna need about 9 to 10 gallons, folks, to fill up this big old dining room table that we have here. So we're just pouring some of this deep pour epoxy from Upstart into our buckets, our 5-gallon buckets, and we're gonna get it all poured out. We're gonna go ahead and use some black water-based pigment to get a solid black look for our epoxy. We want to go with just all solid black. We don't want any metallic in there or nothing. So we're going to go ahead and go with a water-based pigment for this pour, folks. All right. There's 1 gallon. Now we got 10 more to go. Okay, folks, whenever you're pouring a whole gallon at one time like we're going to be doing right now, I always like to puncture a hole in the handle right there. That way it opens up the airways, folks. And when you're pouring that whole gallon, you have this air to siphon out all that air that's in there. Just watch how fast this pours out now. Look at that. You don't have any backsplash. It just comes out like a shotgun. Now you can use a nail, you can use a screw, you can use a screwdriver, whatever you want to puncture that hole in there with, feel free. But the fact is you're getting all that excess air out of there as the epoxy's flowing out, and it makes for a super fast pour, folks. It up in here. And look at that, it flows so much smoother. Especially with the hardener, because the hardener is the more watery of the two. So now, like I showed you guys earlier, folks, we have this water-based black epoxy pigment. We're just gonna squeeze it on in there, probably about 20 to 30 drops, maybe even more. That's probably about 50. And 10 more. Because we want this to be pitch black. We want it to be dark. We don't want no see-through. We don't want no transparency. We want it to be black, black, black. We're gonna pour out a bunch more of this black into here. As much as we can. Probably wanna try and finish off as much as we can in there. Being the deep pour is a 2-to-1 ratio, folks. We poured 2 of part A, the orange, and 1 of part B, the hardener. So for this one, usually we use hot glue, folks, but we didn't want to use cross rails on this, so we decided to just put down some pieces of HDPE, and then we got a 25-pound weight, and this is going to hold down this piece of wood all we need it to. So we're gonna hit this channel first, folks, and see how far we get. Probably gonna have to mix up a little bit more, but that's perfectly fine because we want this to come out perfect. We're gonna pour some more in there. I'll go ahead and heat gun all these little bubbles out. Keep on checking them out. Keep on checking in on it until everything's nice and solidified. So we've wrapped all this up today, folks. This is about as far as we're gonna take it for the rest of the day. We're gonna let this cure for probably about a week, just to make sure that everything's fully cured and we don't run into any problems. Now we're gonna go ahead and take this to a local mill yard and get this all flattened out when we're done. So it's always a good idea if you don't have the tools or the equipment or the time. That's why we don't do it. We just don't have the time to do it. So we're gonna take it and get it done, and they do a great job. If you guys have any mill yards in your area, see if they have a CNC machine. See if they have a machine that can flatten this for you or flatten your big project out for you. So make sure and stay tuned to our Instagram page, folks, so you can see the finished product of this. This has been Steve with Upstart. We'll see you next time.